Hi everyone, it's Ben Adams with the American Offset Mortgage and welcome back to the channel. Now last week we concluded our credit series and today we're going to talk about the dangers of cosign debt. And they are real and they are serious and it is one of the worst financial decisions and credit decisions anyone can make, so don't ever cosign on debt. But before we get into the nitty-gritty on cosign debt, give us a like and subscribe because remember, this is your financial future we are talking about. And we're going to cover all things personal finance related, including budgeting, credit, financial planning, investing, mortgage, and so much more. I'm looking to educate, inspire, and promote financial literacy so you can start living your very best financial life. So if you want to learn more, subscribe. Now, today we are going to talk about the dangers of co-signed debt. Question number one, what is the difference between a co-applicant and a cosigner? Now, a co-applicant is typically going to be a partner or a spouse, and a co-applicant always completes the application as part of a joint application, meaning that both applicants apply together, and both applicants have a vested interest in the transaction together. In the mortgage world, most of the time it means that both parties will own the home together. They will be responsible for the loan together, and more than likely they will live in the home together and pay back the loan together. Now, as you can see with a co-applicant, there is a lot of togetherness as part of the application and the transaction. Now, how about cosigner or cosign debt different? A cosigner is used when the primary applicant is unable to qualify for the loan, and the cosigner is specifically used for qualification purposes. Most of the time, the cosigner is not going to be a vested party to the transaction, meaning that they are not going to live at the property and they are not going to assist with repayment. They are on the loan as a cosigner for the sole reason to allow the primary applicant to qualify and close on the said transaction. Now, why would someone need a cosigner? There's really two distinct reasons. Reasons number one, the primary applicant either has insufficient income or no income, or they don't have a job. Reason number two, they have a repeated pattern of behavior of not paying their bills on time. Now, why would you want to help someone that either doesn't have income or doesn't have a job, or has a repeated pattern of behavior of not paying their bills on time? When you phrase the question like that, it really is an alarming question. Why would you want to help someone like that? They don't have a job, they don't have income, or they have a pattern of behavior of not paying their bills on time. Now, the reason that you probably want to help someone like that is because that said person is probably a friend or a family member, and they are going to be trying to pull on some of your emotional strings. They're going to try and get you to do what they want. They want this thing, they want this car, they want this home. They know that they're not going to qualify and they need your help, and they're going to pull on that, on those relationship strings, or they may even try to guilt trip you into getting you to do what they want. That's the reason that you want to help. Now, what can go wrong with co-signing for someone? Well, number one is that this debt that really isn't yours really is yours. It is going to be reporting on your credit report. And reason number two, this cosign debt is going to have to be considered when you qualify for your own mortgage or auto loan or even employment. And it can really hold you back. And so that's why you want to think about these things if someone has ever asked you to co-sign for them. And here's the other part that you have to consider. The outcome is almost never positive, and happy endings rarely exist when it comes to cosign debt. Now, I can give you story after story of friendships being ruined, of credit being destroyed, with the negative impacts lasting years and years. And this is a lesson that I personally learned the hard way. I had a friend who asked and begged and begged and asked for me to help him out and co-sign on a mortgage with him. I said no probably 50 times, but he was absolutely relentless in his pursuit to get me to co-sign on this mortgage with him. And I finally and begrudgingly said yes.
Why do you think he said that?
I really don't know.
And what happened? Well, I'll be brief, but simply what happened is this said person didn't follow through with the commitment that they promised me. It ruined our friendship, and now I am responsible for a $400,000 mortgage. And let me tell you, it's not a great feeling. But this isn't unique just to my story. I look at credit reports every single day for a living, and I see the negative repercussions of cosign debt every single day. And what usually happens? Well, what usually happens is not if, but when the primary applicant stops making payments. Remember, again, the primary applicant is unable to qualify on their own. And the reason for that is because they don't have a job, they don't have income, or they have really, really poor credit from not making payments on time, which is a pattern of behavior. And so the chances of default are extremely, extremely high. And when they stop making payments, can you guess what happens? Either the cosigner will need to step in and start making payments out of their own pocket, or what happens most of the time is the cosigner has no idea the loan has gone into default and that payments are no longer being made. And the cosigner gets the pleasure of learning that all of this negative information is now reporting on their credit report. When that happens, the cosigner's score will literally drop hundreds of points and then prevent the cosigner from pursuing their own financial goals. So if they have the goal of becoming a homeowner or buying another property or qualifying for an auto loan, or maybe they're looking for a new job and they have to get their credit pulled, this is really going to hold them back. And on the flip side, well, what can go right? Well, there isn't really a whole lot of upside other than you just help someone finance something that normally they would be unable to qualify for or afford without you. Best case scenario, the primary applicant makes their payments on time. And the worst case scenario, the cosigner has to make payments out of their own pocket. Their credit is ruined. It takes years and years to get their credit cleaned up. Their friendship or relationship is also toast. So what am I trying to teach you today? What I'm trying to teach you is don't cosign on debt ever. If someone can't afford something on their own, again, there's a reason for that. They have no job, they have no income, or they have really, really poor credit. Don't get trapped into thinking that you need to go help this person or you need to save them or that you owe them something. You don't. You don't need to put your credit, your reputation, your financial livelihood on the line. It just isn't worth it. Well, that's a wrap for today. This is Ben Adams with the American Offset Mortgage signing off. Join us next week.